Evelyn Hart was the kind of woman who never failed. At 32, she was the youngest female CEO in her company's history, a perfectionist, polished, and fiercely independent. But behind her commanding presence lay a heart that only wanted to be seen, to be loved. Her fiancé, Daniel Walsh, was a venture capitalist who charmed her parents, dazzled the press, and told her every word she longed to hear. Together, they were the power couple of the decade. At least, that's what the magazines said. But on that gray Sunday morning, beneath the golden arches of St. Jude's Cathedral, everything fell apart. Evelyn waited by the altar, her hands trembling as whispers filled the air. Her bridesmaid, Maya, tried to hold back tears. "He's not answering his phone," she whispered. The priest looked away, the guests shuffled. And then it came. A message on her phone. "I can't do this, Evelyn. I'm sorry." No explanations. No goodbye. Just gone. The cameras captured her stunned silence, the veil fluttering as she turned away. That image of the heartbroken CEO flooded every headline within hours. By midnight, her wedding gown was crumpled in the corner of her penthouse suite. She sat by the window, watching the lights of the city that had built her, break her, and still refused to let her rest. When the morning came, she did what she always did, went back to work. But for the first time, her boardroom confidence faltered. The team watched as the woman who always had answers avoided their eyes. That evening, overwhelmed and suffocated, she slipped away from her office, walking without direction until she found herself outside a small, family-owned cafe called Little Haven. The bell above the door chimed softly. Inside, the aroma of coffee and baked bread filled the air. Children laughed in a corner, crayons scattered across the table. Behind the counter stood Liam Carter, a tall man with gentle eyes and sleeves rolled up. He smiled, not the forced kind she was used to, but a real one. "Rough day?" he asked kindly. Evelyn almost laughed. "You could say that." He nodded. "Then maybe you need the heart fixer." "The what?" she asked, raising a brow. He gestured to the menu board. "Heart fixer latte, comes with a warm cookie and no judgment." That made her smile for the first time in days. She ordered one and somehow stayed for hours. Liam didn't pry, he just listened. His daughter, Sophie, joined them halfway, offering Evelyn one of her crayons. "You look sad," the little girl said softly. "My mommy's in heaven. Daddy says sometimes hearts break to let light in." Evelyn's eyes stung. She didn't know it yet, but those words would stay with her forever. That night, as she left the cafe, she looked back. For the first time since her wedding collapsed, her chest didn't feel so heavy. Weeks passed. The media storm died down, but Evelyn's loneliness didn't. The corporate world was merciless. Every meeting was a reminder of the woman who got left at the altar. But in between those endless days, she found herself drawn back to Little Haven. At first, it was coffee. Then conversation. Then laughter. Liam's story slowly unfolded. He was a former architect who had given up his career to raise his daughter after his wife's tragic accident. Money was tight, but his world revolved around Sophie, and every cup of coffee he made carried the warmth he couldn't put into words. "People think strength means never falling apart," he said one evening as they closed the cafe. "But sometimes it means standing up again after you do." Evelyn nodded, her gaze soft. "You make it sound easy." He smiled. "It's not. But it's worth it." Their friendship deepened, quiet and unspoken. Evelyn helped him design a new logo for his cafe. He taught her how to breathe again. She watched him tuck Sophie into bed in the back room, read fairy tales, laugh like the world hadn't hurt him, and it made her question everything she once believed about success and happiness. Then one evening, as they cleaned up after closing, she saw an envelope on the counter, foreclosure notice. Her heart sank. "You're losing the cafe?" Liam hesitated. "I've tried everything. Rent's gone up, sales dipped. I didn't want Sophie to know." Without thinking, Evelyn said, "I can help." He frowned. "You've already done enough." But Evelyn didn't listen. The next morning, she made calls, pulled strings, and found a way to refinance his lease through her contacts. She didn't tell him it wasn't about money, it was about giving back to someone who had unknowingly saved her. When Liam found out, he was furious. "You think I need your charity?" Evelyn's voice cracked. "No. I think you need someone who believes in you. The way you believed in me." Silence hung between them, thick with pride and pain. Then Sophie peeked in, holding her stuffed bunny. "Daddy, Miss Evelyn's crying. Did you make her sad?" Liam's anger melted instantly. He crossed the room, gently took Evelyn's hand. "No, sweetheart. She just has a really big heart." And that was the moment Evelyn realized love wasn't about grand weddings or magazine covers. It was about quiet moments, shared laughter, and the man who stayed when the world walked away.